Thank you for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Boys News. We are going to try to do our best with the current situation which is happening with Hurricane Milton. This is actual video that is being shown and it is being shared by Fox 9. Actual video, Tampa, Florida. We're going to try to give you guys some kind of an update and ultimately also how the wind situation, which communities are affecting, and ultimately I'll put on the screen right now where are the shelters that people can go, and also, do a massive prayer before we end this broadcast. I don't know how long it is going to take. Uh, these storms are crazy. Yes, people are commentating. Just had Hurricane Elena, that complete devastation in the United States of America. Now you have Hurricane Milton. Let's pray before we start this broadcast. Uh, and I will pray before we start this broadcast. Lord, just your inhuman power, your supernatural powers, protect the American people right now in the parts of Florida and the parts of Tampa and all the parts where this Hurricane Milton move it away, Lord, from all the homes, from destruction, and from everything that can cause harm. Please save lives and let this weather just be some kind of your natural glory into some other place and not to damage the integrity of any American citizen into any citizen that is located on this national place due to Tampa, due to Miami, due to Florida, whatever the location. Lord, protect every single American that they are struggling right now with Hurricane Helena, and now protect every single American that is located right now, resident, citizen, whatever you want, human being that is located. Protect them, and save their homes from not losing anything. In Jesus' name, amen. Let's move on with this forecast. This is actual video that is being shared, but I want to share this video also. I want to share this video that is of live hurricane tracker right now. And I really want to share this video, a live hurricane tracker, how it looks from outside. Then I will go into what is basically where it's hitting right now. So let me just go a little bit more further out just to see right here. Yes, I will go in right there. So this is actual video right now. The miles an hour winds, the knots, they're so aggressive. You're talking about 180 kilometers per hour, 185 kilometers per hour. This has increased from the 8th of October to 9th of October, from 10th of October, from all massive parts. The winds have grown so much until now that it's hitting the epicenter, that sadly we can say that the epicenter has hit yesterday, but this is the tail of the epicenter that is going to massively affect these communities. So this is actual video of Tampa. Let us go right now to the Hurricane Milton tracker that I want to show you guys this. And this is how it looks from the outside. This is how crazy it looks from the outside. This is how it basically looks, that is hitting the top part of Greensboro, is hitting Charlotte, is hitting South Carolina, is hitting parts of Georgia, massively going into Jacksonville, as you can see right here, massively going into Jacksonville. Also getting in the down parts of Tampa, and I will go in a little bit as you guys are seeing, and I will show you how this tail in a few seconds. I will show you how that tail that you see on the right-hand side, how that got into the epicenter going in United States territory. How's everybody doing? Welcome to everybody. Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News, giving you guys some kind of an update. I will try to do my best. This is not my area of expertise. Natural disasters, this is not my area of expertise. Our area of expertise, it is immigration, borders, jungles, and also wars. We have gone and do coverage of wars in Israel and Ukraine, but I will try to do the best that I can to explain this. So this is the cities that they're actually hitting the community. People in Atlanta, they're going to get a little tail. People in Montgomery, they're going to get a little tail. You're going to have a little splash going into Alabama. but not into the places that is hitting the epicenter. It is really hitting hard right now in Orlando, right now in Tampa, right now in Florida, right now in Jacksonville. Also, you're getting a tail of the epicenter going up north into the parts of Columbia, parts of Georgia, parts of Atlanta. You're going to get a little bit, dark clouds, all this kind of stuff, and a little bit of thunderstorm. Also in Greenville, you're going to get this splash from the epicenter of this hurricane Milton. Also in Charlotte, also in Greensboro, and also in Raleigh. But in the middle parts, as you can see right here, this is so aggressive. So aggressive. As you see right here, let me just go a little bit more further right here as how it looks from the outside. It's so aggressive. As you see right here, how it's hitting Tampa, Orlando, Palm Bay, West Palm Beach, Coral Springs, Miami, Cape Coral, all these places is hitting them hard. And let me just click right here to open up more. So I will go to another one that is another hurricane tracker to show you guys how it is from the outside. This is how it looks, and I will show how the winds are going and which communities are going to go. So it's really important that you guys see this, and that you guys. Let me just get this app right here working. It's difficult to manage these apps, so I'm trying to do the best that I can, people, for all of you. Bear with me right here, people. So I will go right now. Gosh darn it. Apologize for that. I'm trying to get you guys the end of the communities. Yes. So this is okay. So I will go up into the places. My God, man. Into the places where it's hitting 20 miles an hour. And also in these places. God bless you all. Thank you for joining in. Let me just show right here. This particular place right here, Hurricane Category 3, Milton. This is how it looks, and this is the tail that I'm telling you guys. This is the tail. This is how it came in. This is how it basically came in. So you see this huge tail that is coming in from the let me just show you right here how it looks. Look at this huge tear right here. It was Category 1. Then you go a little bit further, and you start to open up all these places, and you start moving along. But let me just show you right here how it looks right here from all this that is coming into Sarasota, Fort Meade, Bartow, Winter Haven, Kissimmee, Satellite Beach, Palm Bay, and Titusville. These are the places. Now, let me just click right here, and it will tell you right now on this particular place on October 9th, the winds were growing into 195 kilometers, going into the maximum wind gust to 240 kilometers on pressure, 195 kilometers on movement. This was on October 9th. If you go to October 10th at 6 a.m., it hit category 1, also category 2, category 3, and it went up to 148 kilometers per hour on sustained winds, and from there it went to 185 kilometers per hour on maximum wind gusts. This is growing massively. Then if you go to October 10, this is how they look at this tail, how it grows massively. This is just massive. It was a massive, massive. It's a massive hurricane. This right here in the middle of the ocean went to 130 kilometers, sustained winds, maximum wind gust went to 165 kilometers. Then you go, this was at 6 p.m. October 10. We are today in October. This is going to be October 10. This is going to be tomorrow. It's going to be tomorrow, possibly how it's going to grow. This in October 11. This is how it's going to grow more massively. 111 kilometers per hour and 140 kilometers per hour. Then you go to October 11 also, tropical rainstorm. Look how it grows. Look how it's massively growing. Massively, massively, massively growing right now. This is how massive has grown. So let us just dig into a little bit of how these communities, they are being hit. All of this around it is being hit right now. All of this. But the majority that is being hit hard right now, it is which Gifford, Cape Canaveral, Satellite Beach. These are possibly evacuated communities. I don't know. I don't want to misinform to the people that are watching. But this is possibly, these are evacuated communities, as you see on screen. Possibly they are evacuated communities. Why? Because it's hidden. It's right there in the middle, in the epicenter. Then you got Satellite Beach, Melbourne, Palm Bay, a little bit going down to Hillcrest Heights, Bartow. Then you got Lake Alfred, Davenport, Kissimmee, Meadow Woods, Litchfield on the top, and then you will go on top to Orlando. Orlando it's getting hit, but not as it's right now getting hit right here in this particular part. Then Sarasota, that apparently Sarasota is the place that it's possibly going to get hit the hardest. This is the way it looks from outside. Now, I want to go back to the live tracker. And I'm just going to put that on the screen. So how's everybody doing? Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. I will give you guys an update of what it looks on the hurricane tracker. The hurricane tracker right now, and this is off this screen. It says right now that Hurricane Milton, until now, on Wednesday, October 9, 2024, the current information center location 27.2 north, 82.8 west, maximum sustained wind 120 miles per hour, movement at the lowest at 15 miles an hour. Forecast position says tropical cyclone, sustained winds south 39, 73 miles an hour. Also the center parts 110 miles an hour, and the east part 110 miles an hour. This is huge. As it is moving into the middle parts and coming from what I show you, the tail. Now, let me just go right here to this is the information that is coming in right now, as it is right now. Now, let's go back to the actual, how it looks right now in Florida. This is actual video, actual locations, courtesy by Fox 9. This is actually people coming in. I appreciate this information. Thank you so much. Isela Los Agreda says, Oscar, I'm in Florida in the north side of the eye. that has been getting most of the rain. It has been raining for a good while. I'm in southeast Pasco County, right above Hillsborough County, north from Tampa. Yes, you are getting hit right there. And actually, this. Let me just give you guys again this map that I was potentially trying to get. That is so important for me to just give you guys how it looked from outside, but apparently it's not letting me go into the data again, so I can show you how it looks massively from the outside. But this is actual video that is being shown as live right now by Fox 9. As it is right now. So the information, now I will try to go and see this information for people in Florida. I'm looking up right now the shelters. I don't want to go into FEMA. That's the worst information. I'm sorry for people that believe in FEMA. I don't believe in FEMA. For people that are believing in FEMA, go ahead. I don't believe in FEMA. They're doing a horrible job. Look what happened. Just recently. Look what just has happened in Hurricane Helena. And I'm looking at basically the shelters which possibly can be obtained right now. I'm looking for that information to show you guys. So these were statements from, I believe that they were from Ron DeSantis. Statewide, 149 general services shelters offered more than 200,000 spaces, about 31,000 people. This is what it says right now. They have been taking advantage of them by mid-morning. Hillsborough County reported having about 9,100 evacuees in its shelters, while Pinellas had about 8,000 and Pasco about 4,300. Sarasota shelters had about 4,200 residents. Numbers were not ready available for Manatee County. This is the information that is coming in into shelters. So people that they are on those particular shelters that I have shown, that I just told you about, those are the shelters that you can go. This is actual live video right now, and I will show you how the actual location of a lot of people asking about Orlando. I will give you guys again the map of how it looks right now and how it's coming in. The massive tail, but the massive, tail of how it looks. This is how it looks. So if you go in a little bit further, if you move deeply into the map, just try to go right here. I'm bear with me, people. This is my first time giving a broadcast about a hurricane. If you go right here, You will go on top, and again, it hit immediately Cafe Cañaveral, Satellite Beach, Melbourne, Palm Bay. Also on top, you see Wedge Gitfield, Meadow Woods, Kissimmee, Davenport. Then you go down a little bit. Highland Park, Hillcrest Heights, Frostproof, Fort Meade, Bartow, Winter Haven, Bowling Green, Wauchula, and then Sarasota all the way to the back. All of this, it is being hit. All of this. If you go, this is the epicenter right here. But if you go, these are the other parts that are getting hit. Also, Spring Hill, Day City, Cypress Hills, Lutz, Temple Terrace, Tampa, of course, Riverview, St. Petersburg, Pinella Park, Largo, Clearwater, East Lake, and then you go up to Orlando. All these communities, they are being hit. But this specifically, what I'm showing right here, that is right here, this line, as we speak right now, this line right now, it is being hit by winds, max sustained winds, 195 kilometers per hour. This is at 7 o'clock East Coast time. Movement. This was at 7 o'clock East Coast time. Today, it's 10 o'clock. This was 3 hours ago. So it's 195 kilometers per hour. If we do the conversion. That's 122 miles per hour. Whew. That's a win. Then you go max wind gust. This area is getting hit max wind gust and pressure, 240 kilometers per hour. That's 149.129 miles an hour. That's wind. So this hurricane, it is hitting hard. You guys know the massive disaster of Hurricane Helena that just happened. I'm saying fortunately, Governor DeSantis has done an incredible job until now on preparing the state to be controlled and to have excellent help, and to also to prepare themselves for, if there is a crisis going on. There's people without internet now. There's people without electricity in some areas. There's people without access to go out. There is that kind of situation. I don't know the specific areas. This is information that I'm getting from outside. I don't know specific areas. Whether if we have people from Florida, if you're right here on the screen, and if you are people from Florida, you can actually tell me right now which community you are without electricity, so I can have that actual inaccurate information right now for everybody to show. So I'm going to go to the live camera again. Sarasota. Do you have Michael Gale? Do you have electricity? What is your status right now in Sarasota? I would love to know. Checking on my audience to see what's the status in Sarasota. 140,000 people have lost power right now. St. Petersburg, Nora Fontana, do you have Sarasota has power? I can see it on a live cam. Okay. Yes, right here. We have, Naples, Florida. You actually can see right here electricity. My brother-in-law is in Sarasota. He's texting me right now. Yes. God bless your brother-in-law and hope that he's doing good. We have almost 1,800 people in our broadcast. This is in Hudson, Florida, as you can see on the screen. It's information from our viewers. 200,000 customers without electricity. Tampa has power on the university cam. This is Palmetto, Florida, right here on the screen. This is Sarasota. There's no electricity in Sarasota right now. As you can see, there's no power. On the camera, it looks like there's no power in Sarasota. So this is Sarasota live stream right now. This is in Tampa. You actually can see a little bit of electricity, but we don't know if there's the wind is blowing really hard in Tampa. As I just told you, 122 miles an hour and 140 miles an hour in some places. That's wind. That's a massive wind spill, man. A prayer for all the people that are, this is Tampa right here. Tampa, Florida is hitting the winds. I will go as the camera is showing how the wind is blowing in Tampa. You can actually see how the wind is blowing, and it's blowing extremely hard. But I want to show you how the wind situation in Tampa. And this is the wind situation in Tampa right now. If you go right here to Tampa, this is kind of like exactly the same location. And you possibly are going to get winds between 85 to 95 miles an hour. If you guys see right here, all these communities, those are the ones that they are getting hit the most. Got a little bit more further, Sunray, Fort Meade, Bradley Junction, Bowling Green, and all the way right here, all the way to the bottom to Sarasota. If you go up a little bit to Tampa right here, all these places also there are, in location of getting hit also in the parts of Brandon, Riverview, center parts of Tampa, Temple Terrace, Armenia Heights, Arlington Heights, Drew Park, Eleanor Bias, Annandale, and Port of Tampa. The wind doesn't change right here that much if I move the wind scope. But look how massively it moved from here. Look how massive it's coming in. This is how massive this Hurricane Milton it is, man. It's massive. Look how massive this is. It was way much bigger. Look at this. Look how big this is. This is huge. And it just came in and hit this epicenter. It's just huge. It's massive. Look at that. My God, man. Look at that. This is it was hitting 240 miles, 150 miles an hour, 240 kilometers. This is massive. And you got this place hitting on the epicenter. It's this is the place that is going to get hit the most as we speak right now. Orlando is getting also a tail right here on the top, going on the top of the north. Is getting a tail also. And let's go to the accurate information on the application Hurricane Tracker. As we speak right now, let's go to the Hurricane Milton. And it is showing. In some places, it is going to go the wind speed at 74 miles an hour. Some places, it is going to be between 39 to 73 miles an hour. And up in the north, it is going to be 39 to 45 miles an hour. That's around what they are basically informing right here on the wind situation, the wind forecast. I will put the live video right here for you guys to see of the hurricane. And I will try to give information of shelters that you can go. Hurricane Milton update. New shelter opens. This is in Meadowbrook Elementary School. This is 11525 Northwest 39th Avenue at Gainesville. It is now open for general population friendly emergency shelter. Both the MLK Center and the Easton Newberry Sports Complex shelters are full. So you got shelters that they're already packed because of people that they're moving. The winds in Tampa, they're hitting them a little bit. This is what they are. We encourage residents impacted by the storm to seek alternative housing with friends, family, and short-term rentals. Shelters are intended as the last resort. Please note that general population shelters do not provide cots or beds. Residents are advised to bring their own bedding and essential supplies, including special dietary foods, baby food, diapers, and other child necessities. Prescription medications with a small cooler for refrigeration if it is needed. Spare clothing, personal hygiene items, and spare eyeglasses contacts. Residents with pets should bring basic pet supplies, collars, leashes, crates, carriers, towels, blankets, medications, and food. Veterinary records indicating vaccinations. Animals without such records will be vaccinated upon intake. So if you have a pet that is basically not vaccinated and you are moving right now to an intake in a shelter, in the intake process, you are going to basically get your pet vaccinated as we speak right now. So this is kind of one of the regulations on some shelters. If you have a pet and if you're trying to go to a shelter and your pet is not vaccinated, be prepared. Your pet it is going to be vaccinated as they are going to take him into intake. Alachua County Animal Resources will have supplemental supplies on hand for everyone's safety. Animals must remain properly restrained throughout their stay. Special needs shelters will provide one cot per patient. We cannot guarantee cots for caregivers. Residents should bring their own bedding, prescription medications, dietary foods, spare clothing, personal care items, and identification for transportation assistance to the special needs shelters. The number that I will, if you're located in this particular area and you're in need of this particular situations, the number is 352 955 2575. Again, The number, again, if you're located on these particular areas that which I just mentioned, the number is 352-955-2575. And also, if you want to help in some kind, support in some kind of situation, again, I will repeat the number: 352 area code 955-2575. Then you will go on the free Uber rides for shelters. It's called Alachua County has partnered with Uber to provide free rides from shelters, ensuring no resident is left behind due to transportation challenges to access his service. So what they say on if you are in these particular places and you want to use an Uber in Alachua County, number one, there's 3 steps. Open the Uber app. That is number one. Number two, go to the account tab on Tap Wallet. And number three says add promo code R as Raymond, Y as Julie, B as Bart, 19, P as Parker, K as Caitlin, O as Oscar, L as Luis, M as Maria, and P as Paco. Those are, I will repeat it again. If you want to add the promo code for the Uber wallet free ride, it's RYB19PKOLMP. Difficult, but if you want to research it, you can actually find it if you got to me to that particular situation. Up to $55 each way from Alachua County shelters in Grace Marketplace. The alternative is visit the Uber Ride promo to redeem your free ride. This is in terms to the Uber free rides. Now, if you go to another shelter in Florida, thank you so much, Isela, again with a great update. Oscar, a few hours ago, earlier, authorities told people not to be out and to not call 911 to get rides to shelters and only call if they are in danger. Everyone should be staying in where they are. Well, thank you for giving me that update. I'm just reading if you want to get a free Uber ride in the city of Alachua, but thank you so much for that. So again, this is a resident from Florida, and she is saying authorities have said people to not be out, to not call 911 to get rides to shelters. It only puts people in danger, and you should be staying where you are. Thank you so much for that. Let me just go to the other one. Hillsborough County. This Hillsborough County, let me just put right here where it's at. I think it was real close from here. I saw it a little while ago. But if you're located on Hillsborough County, okay, Tampa is in Hillsborough County. I apologize. Okay, let's move a little bit over here. Okay. Mm. Looking for Hillsborough County. I'm just reading on. Well, I will leave it right there. It's in Tampa. Tampa is in Hillsborough. So for people that are in Hillsborough County, they have opened 3 shelters, and the new shelters will open from 10:30 a.m. today at the following locations: Mulrenan Middle School, not pet friendly. So you cannot bring your pets to this particular location. It is located on 4215 Durant Road in Balrico, Florida, 33594. The other one is Lockhart Elementary Magnet School. Also another one that is not pet friendly. It is located on 3719 17th Street, Tampa, Florida, 33610. And then last one is Collins PK 8 School. Also another one that is not pet friendly. Poor pets, man. It is located on 12424 Summersville Boulevard in Riverview, Florida. This is how it looks. Thank you so much for joining in. We're going on 45 minutes on this broadcast. I wanted to just show a little bit of what's going on into my capabilities and capacities to inform the current situation of Hurricane Milton, show video, show actual, bring you guys information of shelters that you guys can go, and where has the epicenter, where it's hitting on the epicenter that is hitting. As you guys can see right here on camera, I will move it again away. Right here, Millsboro. Okay, right here. You got Millsboro right here. Okay, I saw Millsboro. Okay, so if you see right here how it's hitting, this is the main place where it's hitting hard. It is right here in Cape Cañaveral. That place, you don't want to be on that place. And also in Satellite Beach, Melbourne, and also in Palm Bay. All of these are the 95 freeway. It goes up. That freeway is getting hit. Possibly it is already closed. And it is, nobody's driving as we speak right now. But recommended for authorities, as in Florida has said, do not call 911 to get a free ride. Right now, it is not time for that. Stay where you are staying and try to be safe as much as possible. And also, not only that, I mentioned a couple of shelters where you guys can go. This is recommendation till this calms down. And if you had a devastation or you don't feel safe, you can go to the shelter. Now, this was preventable. This is before this was hitting your communities. Or if you feel that your community, it is, you can drive or you can get out of your house. That is not recommended. They already recommended to stay in your home. But if you feel that you can get to point A to point B, these are the places that I just shown you. Now, a lot of these places are not pet friendly, but a lot of the places on shelters, that they're community shelters, a lot of them, they are pet friendly. But if your pet, it is not vaccinated, they will vaccine your pet as intake as soon as you guys go in. So that is going to be a requirement for you guys to enter into the place. It is not going to be a non-requirement. It is going to be a requirement for you guys to enter if you have a pet. And if you are trying to go into a shelter that is pet friendly, they are going to ask you for the vaccination card. If you don't have it, they're going to vaccine your card. They're going to vaccine your dog. This has escalated. Let me just tell you something. I know this particularly is not the time for me to say this, but this is coming out of my heart. The United States of America right now, it is going through a lot of different situations, and this country needs prayer more than anything. It needs God. It needs Jesus back into this country. More than anything, it needs Jesus. And I believe strongly that this is. I'm going to take this, this time for me to say this reality. Right now, the current administration of the United States of America, it is putting Americans last. It is a cruel reality. Whether you are a Democrat, whether you are a progressive liberal, whether you are a conservative, whether you are a Christian, their globalist agenda is more important than protecting Americans. You have seen this with Hurricane Helena. You have seen this in Pennsylvania. You have seen this in your borders. You have seen this with increase of violence in places like Chicago, Colorado, New York City. You have seen this. And only in conservative states, you will have leaders putting their citizens first, as you are seeing right now. Ron DeSantis having the extreme cautions and precautions for him to protect their own citizens and for them to basically do what it has to be done to create, some kind of an outcome for people to have a secure window for them to go here, for him to go there. Also, let me just tell you something else. Ron DeSantis, I don't know if I saw this on a video. He got a couple of people from the state prisons and put them out to work, with a major supervision, of course. They were, with a shovel. They were, trying to secure some roads and stuff like that. This eventually, the inmates collaborated and they wanted to do it. Of course, they wanted to help. This also is going to affect, where they live. But, this tells you about the complete transformation of a mentality when you're located in a blue state and when you're located in a red state. It is a reality, and people need to understand and people need to realize this. The current administration of the United States of America, it is putting Americans last, and that is the reality. They're spending billions of dollars in Ukraine, millions of dollars on a war in Israel, billions of dollars on a border that is a catastrophe and it's a crisis and it's a devastation and it is a complete disaster. All of this, it is being taxed of the American taxpayer. Billions of dollars are being sent to the United Nations out of your American taxpaying money. Billions of dollars are being sent to NGOs to continue with this mass migration through your borders. All of this is coming to the American taxpayer. And when it comes to taking care of your own people, you only have $750 for relief funds for people in Helena. FEMA is a complete disaster, is not even prepared. They're not even prepared strategically. There's not even prepared, and how they're going to cover this in a perimeter. They're not even prepared as they need to be prepared for a natural disaster. As they think it is never going to happen, it is not going to happen to us. It is not going to happen to none of us. This will never happen to the United States. And it actually has one natural disaster that hit you guys, days ago. That is Hurricane Helena. And now you're getting hit with Milton. Let's see how the aftermath of Milton, how the current administration comes about. I applaud Ron DeSantis not listening to Kamala Harris because she's a complete disaster. And he said that he was talking to President Biden. He doesn't need to talk to her about how he is going to handle his state. Of course, ultimately and absolutely, this is going to be managed way differently as it was managed in North Carolina. Now North Carolina realizes that they are last in their list in accordance to be attended and to be medically, physically, and also financially to be attended by this administration. It is always on the Democrat side. You are always going to be last. This is how it's shown. It is not against the Democrats. It is not something in favor of Republicans. It is just the reality. When you're in a blue state, is always a disaster. It's always a disaster in violence, in insecurity, in inflation, high rent, high gas prices, high everything, and you have a lot of illicit and a lot of illegal activity. And it continues with this progressive liberalism mentality that you need to suck it in, you need to understand that that is good, and you need to digress that and understand that that is your way of life from now on. This is how the Democrats and these progressive mercenary liberals, they want to implement this seed in your brain that this it is okay. That this is okay for you to understand, and that this is okay for you to basically, you know, digest, that this is okay. This is your way of life. This is not supposed the way of life of the American people. And everybody knows in the world that this administration has done a horrible job on everything. Horrible job on everything. This clearly, this as is getting attended and it is being attended as it is right now. You have a runner up for president that is Donald Trump. He went to the Hurricane Helena, epicenter. Out of his donations, he gave up some money to these people. He's not even the president, and he gave out, I think that 20 plus million dollars to these people out of his money, out of his funding, out of not of his campaign, but out of the money that he gained to just gave them out of his money. He gave 20 million. You talking about a guy that is not the president of the United States of America, and it is flying out of his own money, going over there out of his own time, and going over there and visiting this place, and out of his own pocket money, delivering and helping. Meanwhile, this current administration, Kamala Harris, goes out and says $750. This is an out. This a lot of the people have said this is fake news. I'm going to fact check you. She never said $750. I'm going to censor you. This is this and that. It is clear as day. Everybody knows what she said. There's no misinterpretation. There's no misinformation. The hell with that. We knew what you said, and this is clearly in statement, and it's clear statement with capital letters that says Americans last. It is really like that. And North Carolina has already has flipped red massively right now, that people are understanding, my God, what we were thinking about until this kind of situations happen. A lot of people start understanding what are we putting our lives in stake. I think that Americans, they don't deserve this. No country deserves this. Our country of Mexico does not deserve this. But talking about, specifically of the United States of America, nobody deserves this treatment, and nobody deserves to be, basically collapsing like this. And the United States of America collapsing slowly like this because it's getting attacked by within, by your Congress, by your Senate, by the Union Party, by all these people that they want, by the globalists, of course, by the CCP, that all these people, they want to completely destroy and eradicate the dollar and eradicate the United States of America from being the number one country in the world. They clearly want that. But ultimately, other than that, there's the only savior of this, and it is the American citizen. It is the U.S. citizen who is also has still under the Constitution, First and Second Amendment, you still have the freedom to say, no, that is it. No, enough is enough. No, we had enough. And I don't think that is going to be more than that. You leave us alone, get over there to your cave and stay over there in your cave. And we're going to fix this country and bring this country to where it was and to where it has to be. This is enough is enough. You had enough. And, Americans had let this happen since Obama. Obama has brought this open door of progressive liberalism and destruction to the country. That after that, Trump came in, and it had 4 years of the most president that has been massively attacked because this guy, it is against the political and globalist agenda. Of course, the globalists were going to attack him. Of course, the media was going to flip everything that he says. After that, Biden comes in again, and he completely goes back to where it is the globalist agenda. And now you have the ideals that they say, no, we're going to put our country first. No, you're not. Look at what you're doing. Look what you just did in Hurricane Helena. It is not a lie. you are putting Americans last. And hopefully, after all of this that is done, after all of this that, you have the elections, you're less than a month now from elections, less than a month from the most important elections in American history. The most important elections possibly in American history. These are the most important elections in American history. If Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, God forbid, win this next election, I don't know what is going to happen. And you have a big problem. You already have a big problem, but the contaminated cancer, it is going to be metastasized. And it is just so difficult to transform from that particular situation into be good again. You have a cancer that is there, that is fixable, and that with prayer, with God, with the American values, you can bring that again into your country and fix this. But ultimately, this is, you have a situation, and the situation is that the Democrats have done this. It's a complete disaster. I don't care if you feel hatred for one man, because this is about Trump. They don't want Trump to be in office. They hate this man so much that they will actually prefer this country to be destroyed than for him to be president. They will actually let this country burn down into ashes, if not letting that guy be president. This is and they talk about hatred, and they have the hatred on their side. This is an actual manifesto. This last month has been a manifesto and a slap in your face on the Americans, on the American taxpayer, to show you that you are last on these people's agenda. Let me ask you something. For all you progressive, mercenary, activist liberals, has Alexandria Ocasio has come out and said, what can we do to help the people in Hurricane Helena, and how can we support Ron DeSantis? We are Americans. This is not about a political party. It's about protecting ourselves. Has she come out and said something? No. Has Rashida Tlaib, another congresswoman full with hate, has she come out and said, how can we cooperate? How can we help the people in Hurricane Helena? How can I go and visit and help in a way to give comfort, to see how I can provide, to see if we can pass a bill, to see what we can do? Let's just do something about it. Do something. You're Congress. Do something about it. No, she hasn't done anything. Has Ilhan Omar said something about, hey, you know what? They're suffering over there. How can we help? Do you need some help? Do you need, labor workers? What do you need? Do you need firemen? What do you need? I have the best firemen in Minnesota. I can send you the firemen over there to help. Has she done something about it? No. Has horrible Jerry Nadler has said something about, let us do this, let us do that? Has Veronica Escobar living quietly and comfortably in El Paso with all the trafficking of humans that is happening through her city from Juarez? Has she done and said something? Has disgusting Gavin Newsom has said something about it? This is the problem. Your Congress, it is so divided by these progressive liberals. And also you have the rhinos that they're staying quiet, and they're not even saying anything because they're part of the problem. They just want to stay in their political seat, not do anything, not lift a hand. They're living comfortably with their monthly salary, and they don't want to do anything. They don't want to do squat. And when it comes to the truly maintenance of this country, that is the American people, that is you the people, or we the people, like you say so, you're last right now. This is a slap in your face for you to wake the hell up and understand that under the steering wheel of Kamala Harris, you're never going to be first. Your economy, it is not going to be the first interest for them. Your well-being on what is Social Security, it is not going to be the first thing for them. Your security, it is not going to be a priority for them. Your inflation, They do not care. They will inflate more. Your gas prices, your rent prices, your food prices. These wars are they're going to end or they're going to continue. The crisis at the border, is it going to end or is it going to continue? All of this, it is going to actually be continuing because they have said only that they're going to try to fix it, that they're going to try to pass policies, and that the Republicans always block these bills and all these policies to fix it, and they're going to justify by that. But they actually know what is their profound goal, that is to globalize these borders, and ultimately, not only that, but also Americans are complaining. The hell with them. They need to understand that we call the shots. They don't call the shots. That is the number one thing. Sadly, that is what it is. Somebody's asking a really important question right here, and I will love to answer this question. I would love to answer this question. This is a topic that is not from now, but I will talk about it later. AMC Kingdom. So thank you for the comment. I will investigate it later. This is a comment. Joe Garza says, if Trump loses, what are we going to do? You know, let me just tell you this before I end this live feed. Donald Trump is only one man. The United States of America stands with the American people. It's about the land of the free and the home of the brave. It's not about a political party. It's not about one man. It's about, first and foremost, it's about Jesus Christ. Jesus does not have a political party, does not have a skin color. You need to understand that this man, it is only up there to prevent what these people are already doing and what they're trying to do. It is up to you and the American people's obligation to defend your constitutional rights and to fight for the good American values. That is what it is. These are only two men, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, but they cannot do it alone. They need you to go out there on the 5th of November and exercise your vote, first and foremost. Second of all, after you exercise your vote and you do what you have to do, and if this comes in a positive, that he wins, if he wins, now you know what you need to do to maintain and to make the people understand that this is the way. Economy, security, not inflation, and all of this kind of situations. But if he loses, still, you have to implement your good American values and continue with the good American values to fight them. Why? Because if you let him go, you'll have this progressive liberalism that is already taken over cities and states. Let me just tell you what just happened in your universities and colleges. What happened in your universities and colleges? Now everybody's pro-Hamas and pro-Hezbollah. These are terrorist organizations, but they justify themselves to say the real terrorist is Israel when they've forgotten about October 7th. This is how dirty and how incompetent these teachers on these colleges are. Marxist, communist, socialist agenda, bringing in and brainwashing your youth to make them understand that capitalism, it is the wrong savior of every economy. So the responsibility lands on you. It does not land on only one man. It lands on everybody for you guys to understand and for you guys to realize that it's not only one man. And yes, somebody's saying right here, it is a major spiritual battle. Yes, it is. Huge. I'm not saying major. I think that it's the most spiritual battle that the United States has had in history. You have people, I was watching, for people that are joining in, how's everybody doing? We're giving an update of what's going on. I've been going on for an hour, giving an update on Hurricane Helena, Hurricane Milton. I apologize for that. And this is actual video that is being shown courtesy by Fox 9, live video, camera video, in some places in Florida, as it's being shown. But right now, as people are commenting, it's a spiritual battle. It's a major spiritual battle, complete major spiritual battle. I was seeing a rally not too long ago, just jumping on another topic real quick, a rally of the LGBTQ plus, and you have people now, Satanists, rallying with the LGBTQ, people that adore Satan. And these people were in a rally with the LGBTQ where they were sexualizing Jesus and basically disrespecting Jesus on a cross, on a yellow cross. Jesus on top of this yellow cross, sexualizing the cross. And on the back, there were Satanists rallying also. This is how crazy it is, man. This is how crazy it is, and how disrespectful it is. And this is just, absolute craziness. This is a comment right here coming in from Mo Rain. I can't believe this craziness. You're using the hurricane to spew nonsense. No, I have spent my whole hour talking about the hurricane, and this is my platform, so I can speak of whatever I want. And I have talked about 5 minutes about political issues, telling everybody that the Democrats are putting Americans last, and it is a reality. I don't know where you live, but if you live in the United States of America, you will see how a catastrophe and a crisis in your country it is right now with inflation and insecurity. Hurricane Helena, a complete disaster. FEMA not supporting this, not supporting a complete disaster, not even being prepared. They don't even have money because all the money they have sent into Ukraine, they have sent into the war in Israel. And your borders, how are your borders doing? Also, you say you're using the hurricane to spew nonsense. No, I'm not. Trump is out of his mind and will destroy us. How do you see it? Let me just ask you something. So on this side, 4 years of his administration, and you have called this man a dictator. Only 4 years. Well, before Donald Trump, there was a guy that was named Barack Obama. I don't know if you remember him. Barack Obama, in my eyes, has been the worst president in history. Maureen, I'm directing myself to you, Miss Lady. Barack Obama, and you guys called Donald Trump the most racist president. When Barack Obama was the one that deported more Latinos and Mexicans in history. He's the one that divided and separated more families in history to be deported, and that is a reality. He created more private prisons for Latinos and immigrants to be locked up on the crime that it was a federal crime, that it was illegal entry and illegal reentry, and then to be deported. He created the cages for children to be incarcerated and then to be deported into Mexico. He created a war that was called Fast and the Furious in cahoots with the Mexican president, Felipe Calderon. By the way, Maureen, I don't live in the United States of America. I live in Mexico. I'm a Mexican citizen and I live in Tijuana, just for you to understand, first and foremost. And I'm a journalist. And he created these cages for children to be deported. He created this war with the cartel. He was the one that brought the global compact of migration into the West Hemisphere and opened up the borders and the floodgates for illegal illicit migration. Because you know that there's a lot of good people coming in, migrating, but there's a lot of bad people. I don't know if you know that. I don't know if you noticed that, but yes, let me tell you a little bit about my experience covering migration. I have walked and documented more than 11 caravans inside of the border, and I have been, me and my brother Ben Berquam, the only two journalists who have walked the Darien Gap 4 times and crossed it 4 times, the epicenter of migration in the jungle, which a lot of people have died due to these open border policies of Joe Biden, Alejandro Mayorkas, and Kamala Harris, which they did not existed under Trump. When Trump came in, he immediately got out of the global compact on migration. He secured the borders, and he told Mexico, my country, with the president, he told, if you don't secure your borders, and if you continue to grow this massive influx in this cartel activity, I will put a tariff on you. And that immediately worked. Why? Because you don't want to hit the middle class families and you don't want to hit the businessman. And the businessman started complaining to the president, and the president started taking control of the current situation with the cartel. Just to tell you, Barack Obama created the biggest war with the cartel, with more Mexicans died in the limitations between Mexico and the United States of America. This is not spewing nonsense. And for me to understand and for me to talk to you, before we get into further discussions, I would like to know if you're this kind of individual who uses this language barrier of defense for us to have a normal conversation as normal people. I'm not a right-wing conservative. I'm not a left-wing, progressive liberal. I consider myself a Christian, a Christian individual who believes in Jesus. I don't know what religion you are, but we can have a normal conversation without using the terminology as fearmonger, creating hysteria, conspiracy theory, white supremacy, white imperialism. You are such a xenophobic, transphobic, homophobic, pronounphobic, fatphobic, racist, fascist, narcissist, bigot, from the river to the sea, la 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 will be free, and CIA propaganda. If you are using that kind of terminology, we are never going to have a normal, decent conversation between ourselves. Why? Because that is language barrier of defense, which you are going to use to just cut my freedom of speech and just label me as that, as a white supremacist, because I'm brown, but I'm going to be a white supremacist. I'm going to be a conspiracy theorist. I'm going to create hysteria. I'm a fearmonger, and I'm the horrible human being that doesn't agree with your progressive liberal ideologies. So let me just tell you a little bit more. Then Donald Trump came in. He cut the freedom. He cut the global compact on migration. He secured the borders. What happened later? Joe Biden came in, and you have seen the borders, right? Or I don't know if you're blind. Have you seen the borders? Or I don't know if you're blind. Because I have seen, and I have walked all the way from South America into the northern borders of Mexico and the south borders of Mexico. Have you seen? This administration of Joe Biden and Alejandro Mayorkas and Kamala Harris has been the administration when more migrants have died between the limitations of Mexico and the United States of America. This administration of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden has been the administration where more contamination of fentanyl has come in by the tons into the parts of California. This administration of the United States of America, the current administration of the Biden administration, the collateral damage that they have done with their open border policies into Central and South America, and the complete destruction of the jungle of the Darien Gap has been completely devastating, and it's irreparable damage that they have done. This administration of the Biden administration has increased the cartel to grow more than 100% now by these open border policies to open up the floodgates for trafficking, of massive trafficking of humans and abuse to humans being and to our Latino people and Hispanic people. This current administration of the Biden administration, not only that, but they have increased the cartel activity and open border gaps where they have stopped the construction of the wall, and the cartel in Mexico, it is fighting for territory, complicating the lives of Mexicans because of your open border policies. This administration of the Biden administration, not only that, has increased the level of cartel activity, but has created an enormous animosity with international relations and only given a profit to give away millions and millions of dollars to NGOs who they are profiting and making millions out of human misery and human devastation of this humanitarian crisis. But the most aggravating thing about it is that this administration of the Biden administration knows about the trafficking of children that are happening at their border, and you have hundreds of thousands of kids that they're lost. Nobody knows where they are at because the ACLU under the Trump administration did not want DNA testing, and you don't want DNA testing under the Biden administration as it is right now. Just talking about the border. Now, I want to ask you, how's your inflation doing? How's your gas prices doing? How is your rent doing? How is your payment of your schools? How's your payment of your car doing? How is your monthly salary helping you to just fulfill your refrigerator? Is everything going well? Has any of my statements for you have become xenophobic, transphobic, homophobic, pronounphobic, and from their la la li la 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 this? And has any of my statements have been white supremacists? I don't live in the United States of America. I'm just giving you factual information of two candidates right now. One is disastrous. It is Kamala Harris, that she has never visited the border, and she visited the border just a couple of weeks ago, and she went to Douglas, Arizona, and everybody in the Border Patrol does not like her. And the other one wants border security. You're talking about destruction of democracy. Who is destroying the democracy? People that they're full with hate constantly attacking one man. Under this administration, there has been 2 wars. By the way, I went to Israel 2 times to cover the war, and 1 time I went to Ukraine to cover the war. This has happened under the Biden administration. You're talking about a genocide that is occurring in Gaza. Nobody talks about, if there's a genocide, the genocide that is occurring in Ukraine. With a lot of these young kids, they're dying. And you're affecting one generation and two generations of Ukrainians that they are not going to reproduce. God bless you. How's everybody doing? Thank you. So I like to answer to these people. It's good to have a conversation, but it's always so important that we put their language barrier of defense first and foremost. I have said this multiple times. With these people that they want to talk to me, I can talk to you and sit down, but you have to leave your victimization language alone. You're a racist, you're a fascist, you're a narcissist, you're a bigot, you're all of this. Leave it alone. Let's talk like normal human beings and factual information. And when we talk about that, we can come to an agreement as civil people. Like back in the old days when you used to talk and you did not have no, oppressive situation where you were like, oh my God, I cannot talk to you. You're such a right-wing extremist. What happened to the good old days when you just talk and you say, well, I'm wrong. You're right. Well, let me just read into it and see what can happen. What happened to those good old days, those democracy days? The word democracy has been hijacked by these progressive liberals, these kind of people. Thank you so much for joining in. God bless you. I will be removing this video right now. We're talking about Hurricane Milton, and we're going in an hour and 20 minutes. We got more than 2,000 people on this broadcast. Maggie, Max, ay, mira nada más, qué hermosura. Arriba Cuba, Díaz Canel Singao. Oscar, te queremos mucho y te apreciamos mucho. We appreciate you so much. Thank you. God bless your dear heart. Un saludo a toda mi gente cubana. I want to say hello to all my Cuban people, which I have walked with them in the middle of the Darien Gap, escaping from the dictator, Díaz Canel. One day, I don't know if my lifetime or in another, my son possibly is going to see that Cuba is going to be free. And they're going to be one of the most capitalist countries in the world with Venezuela. Te mando un abrazo a ti y a tu mamá. Dile a tu mamá que la quiero mucho. Hi, Oscar. I live in Tennessee. How is thy brother? I'm doing good, doing good, my brother. The hurricane center shows the storm is getting weaker now at 105 miles an hour. God is helping. God is helping. God is helping a lot. Vicky says, yes, we appreciate you. Thank you. I watch you and the Gary and Gab with Ben. I miss my brother, man. I hope that I can see him in the next incoming days. Well, he has election time. I don't think that he is going to come right now to Central and South America. He's going to be so busy covering the election that is a number one priority, to try to win that election for him. Starfire X55, Oscar, nobody in America talks about the migration agreement. Nobody. I find that very strange. I'm sure someone must know. Yes, they know. This is journalists in the United States of America have said about the crisis, and we know that there's a crisis, but nobody has sat down and said to Alejandro Mayorkas why you are in this global compact on migration and why you're still talking to Antonio Guterres, why you're letting the United Nations run your borders, because the Border Patrol has become an Uber for your immigration processes. But why you don't get out of the global compact on migration and fix this problem from the start and just go by immigration laws that you have? Why you have to be part of the United Nations? Why the United Nations is running your borders? Why are you giving so much money to the NGOs and these proxies that they're running your borders? It's not even the Border Patrol that is running the game now. It's all these NGOs. They're the boss right now at the border. They will tell you who is coming in, who's coming out. And if you do not agree with it, you're violating the human right. And they defend themselves with this global compact on migration that has a full authority on your border. So that's the number one problem. The number one problem is you need to get out of that and then correct the immigration laws. Mariflor Ramírez, hemos estado orando desde Puerto Rico todos los días por este huracán. Saludos, Mariflor, te mando un abrazo. Estamos ready. Ready para darle flow, como dicen los de Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, ready para darle flow. God bless you all. I will leave right now. An hour and 24 minutes. I think that was enough. I've been extending these incoming days. Buy Me a Coffee is right there. People want to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund. Buy Me a Coffee is right there. I'm going to be traveling soon, hopefully. You know, your help is much needed. Question, what happened to Ben? Nothing. He's doing okay. He's with his family. He's working, like always, going out there, traveling the United States, and basically doing his job and doing a great job, by the way. He's a great man. In my eyes, he's a beautiful man. He's my brother. More questions. One more question. We got 3 to 4 minutes. Mira, Oscar, no te entró el Kamala syndrome con los acentos. No está la chinga con Kamala. Muchas gracias por eso, pero no. Somos morenitos, pero no estamos mencitos. Michael, how you doing? I really appreciate you, Oscar, for talking to people and giving the truth. Thank you so much. You know, people, when you talk to them and you tell them about all these topics, they don't want to discuss it. And then when you tell them, I know what you're going to say. I know that you're going to say, I'm a conspiracy theorist, I'm a white supremacist, I'm this, and this, and that. And when you tell them that, they're like, well, you're basically describing yourself. No, why? This is what you think. So if I can describe you, I don't want to do that because I'm a follower of Jesus, man. I'm not going to point the finger. Who am I to point the finger? He's the one that is going to judge you on the judgment day. So what can we do? We just can talk and just, you know, have an agreement or disagreement, but we can put these topics on the table and we can just say like, okay, I don't agree with you, man. Well, I don't agree with you with this. So you agree with that we should be first? Yeah, we should be first, but this and that. And, you know, it's you have to. There has to be this dialogue, and there's no dialogue anymore. There's only screaming by these progressive liberals. There's only screaming. So this is why I have said multiple times, you cannot be gentle with these people. You cannot be passive with these people. You cannot be gentle and passive. You have not to be aggressive, not to be violent, but you have to stay firm and strong. There's no time to be friendly with these people. It's time to create unity, but firmly, for them to understand the American values and how the United States of America needs to be directed, not as a third world class country. That needs to be done. Why is not done? Because they want the complete opposite. God bless you guys. Stay safe. Thank you so much for joining in. You can follow me on all my platforms. It has been a pleasure. Give it a like to this video. Share the video. Give it a like on Facebook. Hit that bell button on YouTube and hit that like button on X. It has been an incredible time to be talking to you guys about this horrible situation which is happening on hurricane. We gave you guys an update on this for an hour. I was talking about the hurricane. And then we had, you know, open political topics for around 30 minutes or so. So it has been great talking to you guys on this evening. Stay safe. And like we always say, people, God's plan, it is our mission. Stay safe.